Raindrops. Happy Monday. I'm on time now. Goodness. Okay, wait. All right. Carlos was T. Hi, Kylie. Sheena H. We have lots to discuss, baby doll. We have lots to discuss. Brittany, a lot has happened today. A lot has happened. Hi, Owen. Okay, who do we have? Michael Bird said, hey, Carlos, I never watch live, always watch the next day, but I'm here. Well, thank you. A lot of people are watching it live today in real time. Gia Brewer, Dustin, and Claudia are coming on. I actually watched Atlanta Housewives live last night because I haven't had a weekend to myself in months. You know, when you're outside and hi, Lionel. So I actually said to myself, I need to sit my ass down. So I watched Love and Marriage Detroit live. I live tweeted with the Raindrops. What up? Wait, you from Nigeria? Go back to Nigeria. Y'all know me and Africans. Go back. Hi, Chastity. Okay, wait, hold on. Y'all know me and Africans, child. Hold on now. Hold on. Wait, Salusu Abdule from Nigeria. Oh, Nigeria. I know a thing or two about Nigerians. Okay, so we got Chastity. I just celebrated my birthday, April 24th. Happy Taurus season. All right, who we got here? Alan Bradshaw, the Rita's child. Okay, so I'm Beyonce. I'm not. It was an African from Nigeria. I'm an African American. I was late because a lot is going on, child. A lot is going on. Okay. So before I bring in Dustin and Claudia, in addition to our special guest tonight, I love you, Raindrops. Shout out to the Raindrops I met this weekend. I think the name was Ava. Ava, if that's your name, I thank you for your compliments to me and to Dustin and Claudia. Her husband came up to me and said, Gia, I don't have a type anymore. We'll get that later. Thank you, Zona. She's like, oh my gosh, I love when Dustin and Claudia are on. You know, I look forward to hearing you guys every Monday. So shout out to Ava, her husband, child. And then I want to shout out to my pastors, to Ray and Sarah Jakes Roberts, who are now the lead pastors of the Potter's House in Dallas. So when I lived in Los Angeles, I would go to One Church LA, and Teray and I became friends along with his beautiful wife, Sarah. Teray Roberts is an amazing pastor, an amazing man, an amazing human. And he has poured so much into me. When I got my office space in LA, he came by the office to bless it. Sarah Jakes made food for your boy when I had to film with him and Keisha Kayor. So I'm so happy for them. So I wanted to say that. Hold on. Hello. Okay, thank you. So that's that. And then shout out to Beyonce Knowles, who is starting her concert tonight in Los Angeles. So to my LA Raindrops who are watching this at 4:00, I love you. And I promise it'll be worth the wait. Beyonce, good luck tonight. Okay. Now that we got all of that out the way, let's bring on my very special guest that you guys get to see every week. First and foremost, give it up for my friend, Dustin Ross.
What's up, Raindrops? What's up, Los? Happy Cowboy Carter Tour Day to all those who celebrate. It's a good day to be a Beyonce fan. I'm definitely going, but I'm not going today. You see, I'm here with y'all niggas tonight, so I'm working. But otherwise, I would have been in LA at that show, telling people, look at that horse, look at that horse, look at that horse.
Did people look at your horse this weekend?
No, I was in the stable. I live. I am. Listen, he just got up a couple weeks ago. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still in my mode. I'm still within them 66 books they call the Bible right now. I'm a holy man. New place, new energy. No, you know, I got deleted and reset when I moved. So yeah.
Okay. All right. So the horse is hibernating. Is it for the weekdays and it comes out on the weekends?
Hey, when they do come out, just know it be stepping. And my horse don't wear no regular horseshoes, wear Air Force Ones and Tims and shit. So you know, one of them kind of horses. Anyway, what's up, bro? Happy to be here, man. Let's get into it. We got some things to talk about. We got to get my sister up here.
Yeah. We have a lot to talk about. We need to see if she has a horse. Please, ladies, gentlemen, gays and babes, give it up for the beautiful Claudia, the stallion, Jordan.
Yeah. Is that a good horse now? It's about to be Kentucky Derby next week. I need a horse in my life.
Man, you need one of them. You need a fascinator too for that, right?
Oh yes, holla at me, fascinating horses. I'll take them both.
So Claudia, were you riding horses this weekend, or were you at the stable?
I wish, but I'm open to it. I feel like I've been closed off because of like disappointment. I was talking to one of my friends about it. I said, I think I just been kind of reject. Like sometimes I don't even make eye contact when I'm out with guys anymore because I'm like, no, you're just gonna disappoint me. And I'm happy right now. I'm in a good place, but I miss having sex though. Listen, the back has not been blown out in a long time.
Yeah.
But I don't want to just have sex. I want to like have that tingly feeling about someone. I want to like be interested in what you have to say. I want to look at my phone when I get a text and be like, ooh, he said this. And you know, I want that. Like, you know, when you first have a crush on someone, how good that feels. Like I miss that initial, even though it'd be bullshit, but it's so
yeah, the passion, the fun in the beginning. Yeah.
I just don't like a lot of people though.
Yeah.
But I did have a good time in Vegas last week with my friend. That was off the chain. That was so
well. Listen, I think you have to figure out how to like experiment with something different. Whether it's dipping in the lady pond, whether it's
no.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
I mean, you've been beautiful since like your whole life. So like in the 90s where everything was fluid.
Let me tell you, there's a certain very famous woman that's married to a very famous actor who did try to get at me one time on set of a show. And I was like, she scared the hell out of me. She kind of stepped to me like, what's good? I was like, all right, I just moved to LA. I'm not ready to set it off like that. No, I meant like this. No, not like that. You know what I mean? Like it was crazy.
Justin, please get your girl.
I can't. Hey, she got stories, man. We waiting on the book. We all want the book. We want the Claudia Jordan memoir. Okay.
To my social media and my YouTube moderator, do not put any names up on the full screen. That's all I ask of you. Do not put any names.
It was actually a couple. It was a couple of your faves. Like this, it's a couple of the usual suspects that they think. Damn, I'm stuttering Brittany. Oh, like Brittany. I didn't do porn. I did not have relations with that woman. Okay, sorry. Listen, I'm a horse. I'm a horse in the stable. I can't wait till we get to the one side. I got something for you, Carlos. Got something for you tonight.
All right, we do. And I got the guns out tonight because I feel like I need to make sure that the guns are blazing because I have a feeling I'm going to have to pop off tonight, and I'm ready for war.
Well, you do have some nice. You've been really working that body for a while. The midsection.
Oh, yeah. He ain't playing. Carlos ain't playing. He just be smiling in them tank tops in his pictures. You seen him? He just be online.
Carlos, what's up with your love life? Is it still? What's going on? Are we still going on that field trip? We still going on the field trip?
Yes.
Wow, he's smitten.
It's beautiful, bountiful, and bounceable. So, things are going as well as, I deserve.
That's good. Well, we definitely doing a dinner scene where me, you, Claudia and your new friends sit down at dinner, and we're definitely going to assess some things. You see how Claudia just put her hands under her chin because she know what time it is. So as soon as we do this, we're going to tell you, what we think.
Okay,
all right. The door open and close. So
you guys
looking forward to that.
Your bookshelf by two Aries, Carlos. We don't hold our tongue. We tell it like it is. Sometimes it may seem a little abrupt and harsh because that's how we are, but it's only because we don't really have time to beat around the bush.
No.
But I love Libras. Aries and Libras are the exact opposite. I love Libras. We do get along well. So we will be the panel, and we will see this person will still be in the running to be Carlos King's next top, not model, bottom, whatever it is. I don't care. It's my business. But we will make an assessment. We will judge.
Wait, is that the name of my dating show? Carlos next top bottom? Is that what you're saying?
I said model. What did you say? You heard bottom?
What channel is that coming on?
I did not say bottom, first of all. I said model.
With all this Shannon Sharp shit, all these kink conversations going on, it's not the time for you to have a show called Next Top Bottom on a network called OWN. It's just too many themes and shit in there. It's too, we trying to keep it clean right now. Okay, we don't want no trouble.
I don't want no problems, Harlow. That's right. Why I am in the house and I am talking to my friends who are the Aries king and queen, and that's how it's gonna be for the foreseeable future. Okay. Listen, things already getting off to a great start. So later in the episode, we are going to recap that episode of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. I can't wait to hear Claudia and Dustin's thoughts. But first, Love and Marriage Detroit is back, and it's better than ever. We are completing the rest of our season. So thank you guys for your patience. And tonight, I am so happy to bring on two of my stars of Love and Marriage Detroit. Please do a warm welcome for Kristina and Bravo.
Yeah.
Hey. Welcome. What's
going on?
Thank you.
This is your first Monday Night Live. So Bravo, how does it feel to be on Monday Night Live with myself, Dustin, and Claudia?
Good energy. It feels good. It feels great. Thank you, man. I didn't know I was gonna be picked, man. I thought I was gonna be somebody else. I got the text. I was like, okay, Carlos. Carlos likes me.
I love you, Bravo. I love all my cats. I love you, Bravo. What you talking about?
Yeah.
Bravo, do you feel like he doesn't like you as much as do you feel like he has a favorite and you're not the favorite?
No. You know what? Carlos actually being from Detroit, I already know Carlos kind of relates to him, so we kind of like that one.
Oh, you breaking up?
Bravo, you got to fix your audio, bro. But whatever you said was a compliment, so I will take it. So, Kristina, how are you?
Hi, Carlos. I'm doing well. How are you?
Are you nervous tonight? Are you feeling good?
I feel good. What's to be nervous about?
Nothing. Not a damn thing, Kristina.
Nothing.
Nathaniel. Nothing.
So, Kristina, where are you, love?
So I'm home in Buffalo, New York, visiting. My cousin got married over the weekend, so I came up without my kids, so I can have some me time.
Very nice.
Good.
So necessary, isn't it? Just to get
so necessary. I felt so good. Nobody asking me, "Are we there yet?" I get to sleep in. I don't have to find babysitters. I can hang out with friends. It's just been a joy.
What's it like going back home to Buffalo now that you are literally a TV star? You starring in your own series, second season. You know what I mean? How does it feel to go home? They show you love, or they hating on you, Kristina?
No, they show me love.
Okay, good.
Honestly, I watched the episode Saturday with some of my Buffalo crew.
Okay.
They be ready to set it off. They're ready to go to Detroit. That's Buffalo rides for me. Okay. So I love it. I love being here. I have a lot of support here.
That's wonderful.
That's gotta feel good when you go back home. I'm from the Northeast, from Rhode Island, but Buffalo, you're not too far away. When you go back home after, making such a big move and being on a show, a major show that's a hit, that's got to feel really good. Especially, did you have any haters in high school that you're like, ha ha?
No, I mean, if I did, I don't remember them. So I guess oops. But no, I'm serious. Everybody, it's all love now. Even if they hated on me in high school, they love me now. So whatever.
good. Well, I love that you're getting all the love back home. That's amazing.
Yes.
That's gotta feel great.
It does.
No, listen, it's good to get love back home, but we do want to know if there is love in the home that you and your husband Brandon share. So we did watch this past Saturday's episode. So for my raindrops, Love and Match Detroit episode airs Saturdays, 8:00, 7 Central. And in this episode, Brandon and Kristina, as we have seen since season 1, has had a very up and down, tumultuous relationship where things will be good, then things will be not so good. What we did learn in this episode, Kristina, was that Brandon, which a lot of us were surprised, and I want Dustin and Claudia to chime in too.
Mm-hmm.
We did learn that Brandon did ask you for a divorce 4 times. Can you talk to us about that and some of the reasons behind 4 times being asked for a divorce in your marriage?
Sure, I'd love to. So actually, it was way more than 4 times.
Oh.
There was a lot of times. We're married for 14 years.
Yeah.
I want to say about a couple, maybe 3 years into the marriage, like the divorce. I think we even went over this in season 1. Like the divorce topic would come up anytime things would get rough or hard or things weren't going his way. If we weren't getting along, it was divorce. I walked on eggshells for years, just trying to tiptoe around, like not triggering him, throwing that at me. I don't ever think that there was anything that warranted a divorce that was happening. I mean, I wasn't cheating. I wasn't stepping out. I don't cuss you out. I ain't got a smart mouth. Like, it's none of that. But I do believe that, and how he's explained it too, was he was a product of divorced parents. So that was always an option for him in his mind. When things got rough, he would get scared and he'd be like, I want to be done. For me, I was the opposite. My parents are still together. They celebrated, I think, 52 years last year. So I'm always like, no, like we work through things. Like we fight, things may get tough, but we stick things out. So again, I did walk on eggshells. When I always mentioned being on a constant roller coaster in my marriage, that's why, because I'm like, is this the day or the week he's going to say, or the month he's going to say he wants a divorce again? So 4 times, I don't know where 4 times came from. It was way more than that. But I will say, Brandon, I stopped taking it serious after a while because there was no action behind it.
Mm-hmm.
So to me, I was like, is this a fear tactic? Is this manipulation? Are you trying to, scare me into doing what you want me to do in this marriage? I stopped taking it serious because he's, to this day, never filed for divorce. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, do you expect to say it and then I go in, then file for divorce? I'm confused as to even why he brought it up that way at the table. I asked for a divorce. Well, then go file, right? No?
So, some people use like that, I'm breaking up with you as a tactic to win a fight or to control in an argument. And I'm glad that you stopped taking it seriously. I think that's probably much more healthy for you mentally, right? But before you got to the point where you stopped taking it seriously, when you were walking on eggshells, and a lot of people know that feels like in a relationship, walking on eggshells. It's hard to be happy when you're walking on eggshells. Did you feel like you were not yourself and you had to make yourself smaller to kind of keep the peace?
Absolutely. I dumbed myself down a lot. I put a lot of things to the side. I couldn't even really function in my personal life because I was just it was so rocky within our marriage. Like I never knew what was going to happen to my life. I've never been a mom, without him. So I'm like, am I going to be a single mom one day? Like he's the breadwinner. Like I don't work. I just stay at home with my kids and homeschool. Like, am I going to have to get up and go try to make all this money to take care of me and my kids all of a sudden? So I never felt settled in my life. I felt on eggshells, in every area of my life. I couldn't get ahead. I didn't realize until maybe a year ago that I was dealing with depression and didn't even know I was. I wasn't showing up in many spaces because I was just so depressed at home. And I thought I was happy. I mean, not happy, but I thought that I guess I was just functioning through depression. So yeah, it bothered me a lot. But I'm so past that. Like, that's not my story anymore.
Well, we love to hear that. We love to hear that pivot on the end of that. You know what I mean? A pivot into positivity and leaving all that negativity behind. One thing we love, speaking of your family, we saw your gorgeous daughters on camera again in these past few episodes. They are very perceptive, very aware, very smart children who were offering reflections on their experience with Brandon maybe leaving, you guys taking the breaks you needed to kind of figure that part out. How are you handling or managing your daughter's experience throughout what we're seeing on camera, right? We're not going to go past what we see on camera, but throughout what we're seeing on camera, how are you managing your daughter's experience? Because they were very accurately describing how they felt about separation and things like that. And it was beautiful to see, because my takeaway was these girls are so smart, right? But as a mom, I know that's got to hit a little bit differently. So how are you handling that part?
Well, we've been very open and honest with our children. And I know, we got some slack the first half of season 2 because, they did see that the children, they felt they were in grown-up business. But kids are a lot smarter than, what we like to give them credit for. And they see everything. Our kids have seen a lot. And what are we going to do? Like, not give them an explanation to what they're seeing and hearing? If you don't talk to them about it, you give them too much room to draw their own conclusions. So we've always been very upfront and very honest about, what's going on, within realms of, them being children, of course, but to their understanding. And, it's tough. It's tough. They cry sometimes, but most of the times they understand. And, I know that I got a lot of flack before because they felt like I was feeding my kids stuff about their dad. No, they have eyes, they have ears, they've seen this stuff before, and I've had to have conversations only because they have seen it. Yeah. I have to give them that explanation. But they're resilient, they're amazing, and, they're doing really well. They're comfortable enough to ask us questions. They don't like everything that's going on, but and if the time comes, and I'm sure it will, I will definitely also put my kids through some sort of therapy, just because, what I'm saying? I don't want to be the only outlet. They may have questions that go beyond me, or they may want to discuss something that goes beyond me and their dad. So we're going to offer therapy as well.
Do you think, and one last thing I want to ask you, do you think reality television has helped keep you guys together or made things worse for you? Because I do remember on reality shows, you'd be forced to have to go sit down and work through something that you may in real life just say, F it, I'm just not going to call them back, or I'll just avoid them. But when the world is holding you accountable, right? They want answers, and your producers, like, you have to resolve something. Has it been beneficial for you, or has it made it tougher in your relationship?
I always say, and Carlos knows this, I feel like the show has partially saved my life personally. For me, the show started reminding me, being on the show, I should say, started to remind me of who the hell I was. You know what I'm saying? And so it's definitely saved me individually. In the marriage, I feel like it helped us because it did force us to have very tough conversations and face, realities that we may have not faced off of camera. It literally makes you have conversations. And I feel like, I can't say too much, but it's definitely, it was a good thing at a time. It was a great thing. But sometimes when the cameras go off, people go back to who they were before the cameras came on. So,
well, let me ask you this. Obviously, we have our. So listen, guys. For the record, Carlos King does not split the shows in half. I don't have that power, child. So when y'all read me on Twitter, it ain't my decision to do so. Okay, trust me. I would love for the entire season to air, but that's not the way it works. But we all are thankful for the opportunity, and we make it work regardless. Okay. So with that being said, next week this Saturday is the finale. Yes, we came back 2 weeks ago, child. I'm just here to report the facts. Okay. So with that being said, we do have a 2-part reunion coming up. Kristina, everybody wants to know, where are things right now between you and Brandon? Are things better? Have things gotten better, or are you two still figuring things out?
Well, I would say things have gotten better for me. I figured some things out. Things are great for me, and we still wake up in the same house and do our same routine with our kids every day.
It's the for me.
It's the for me too.
Yeah, I see. We read it between the lines. Okay.
Well, look, I think it's a good thing that you listen. One thing that I love about this show is the camaraderie that you guys have, not only as couples in your own, individual journeys as couples, but also as friends too. So, look, at the end of the day, the beauty of the audience is they do root for marriages to work. Mm-hmm. But one thing that I know for sure producing these shows is you have to do what's best for you. And what I can say without saying too much, because that's Kristina's story to tell, keep watching the show, is the fact that she definitely has allowed this show to blossom her in a way that fulfills her. And that's the reason why I'm happy to have created this show, is because you have to sometimes look at yourself and figure out how to make things work for you. And if it doesn't work out for people involved, I think individually what's more important that you have to be strong for yourself before you could be strong for another person.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I think Bravo can attest to that because he doesn't have his location on his phone. So he must be very strong to do that. So Bravo. Claudia does have a lot to say about this topic of conversation. So did the wonderful guys over at Earn Your Leisure. Shout out to Rashad and Ian, who does Blackout every Thursday. So Bravo, your clip went viral where you revealed as a nightclub owner, and if you are from Detroit, everybody knows Bravo. Bravo is the king of the nightlife in Detroit. Okay? He really is.
Appreciate that.
No, you really are. And he's a great guy. He's very nice, and he looks out for his city, and he loves his city. Now, do you love keeping your phone on because your wife, Keita, who's also gorgeous, has said that she feels that because you work in the nightlife, she lost her father during the nightlife as well, that she really is concerned you don't check in. Now, Bravo, a lot of women weren't too pleased to know that you don't check in as much. Why is that, bro?
Why don't I check in as much?
Yes.
You heard the question.
Nobody's 100% perfect, So let's clarify this. Brandon asked, why don't you share your location? First thing is, the answer is because we never asked each other to share our locations. Mm-hmm. Like, we're 20 years knowing each other, 7 years married. And we know each other before location apps even existed. So It was just like we were built off of an old school trust. My family, my dad is, I come from a two family household. It was no problems there. My dad never cussed, drank, smoked in front of me. We come from a very high value relationship. Like we don't really, technology never took over our relationships. So I was never asked to. Let's start there, right? But if she ever asked me to, I would have no choice but to. That's the wife. But she just never asked me to. Brandon asked me to before she did. Now when I responded, I'm not sharing my location. That's just because I'm not unless I'm asked to. But other than that, I'm not about to just willfully give anybody my location.
Even your wife,
apps, huh?
Even your wife, she's not just anybody. She's your wife.
I never volunteered, and she never volunteered. It was never asked.
Mm-hmm. Well, since your clip, your moment went viral, right? I'm sure y'all have had a conversation. Have y'all had a conversation about it since? Like, 100%. Have y'all? 100%. And how does she feel about it? Does she want your location?
Well, we're built off of trust. We laugh about it. Mm-hmm. It's if you look at our page, I kind of made more of a parody out of the clip or whatever, and she kind of she's in the comments too. And like I said, when you're not a couple built off of technology and built off of trust, you kind of don't let the technology conversations or he doesn't post her every day, she doesn't post him every day, or he's not sharing. You don't let all that stuff like bother you. And I feel like we're a lot stronger than that. And I mean, we're not gonna let the trolls or the the people that we're not gonna let the internet marriage counselors tell us how to keep going. 20 plus years stronger. I mean, that's how that's how it is.
I'm rolling with Bravo on this one, right? I understand what you're saying. Their relationship was established at a point before those location-based apps even existed, and they don't need that as a reinforcement to establish trust, right? It's the other motherfuckers that's watching y'all talk about it on the show who feel like you must be hiding something to not want to voluntarily share your location. You got the floor right now, Bravo, and they're listening to what you're saying. Is your unwillingness, right, to share the location of your own volition without being asked, right? Is that motivated by you trying to hide something? Just clear all that crazy stuff up for the people in the comments. Yeah.
In reality, I'm in nightlife. Everybody's gonna always say I got something to hide. My job is to give cute women drinks and to give dudes that spend money discounts on bottles. My job is to make sure that if you got problems on food, I have to over accommodate you. And if it's a group of women that want a refund, I'm gonna flirt with them, tell them they look beautiful, walk away, and hopefully I get 50% off of it. I mean, that's the reality. My wife has been with me before I started doing parties. Like the very first party I ever did, it was girls in the bathroom saying, "Bravo look good. I'm gonna try to get him tonight." Right? Didn't even know. So I mean, we're talking about 20 years of her.
Well, but tell them, Bravo. Tell them what your wife Keita did when she heard these girls say, "Bravo looks good. I'm about to get him."
She ain't said nothing. She just listened and walked out. I mean, I got a confident wife, man. I got a really, and you got to be confident to be able to date.
I was told she checked you at the bar.
Oh no, she asked me who they were, and ironically, they wanted to be in my partner's cousins. Like his cousin liked me. I didn't even know who the girl was.
That's who it be when people try to fuck somebody, man.
Like I mean, you gotta be and I just feel like you gotta be a confident woman. Like I will say this: 99.9% of women I think that I've met will probably not be able to deal with the things that she dealt with. Per se, Claudia, I'm pretty sure if you date a guy, he's probably not gonna be able to deal with the fame and the popularity that you kind of encounter when you go out also and be as secure as an average man. You need an above average secure man. And I mean,
I when I moved to Texas, I started dating a blue collar regular guy. We had a very successful relationship. And honestly, I get what you're saying about, you're the more, you're more out there, you're more outside, the nature of your job. But I also think like because of her, past and like the trauma that she's had in her life, maybe there's a little extra worrying that goes on when you leave. And everything you said about girls in the bathroom wanting you, I get all that. But how does her having your location help or hurt that? Like, doesn't really affect. It's like kind of two different things.
No, I didn't say it hurt. I didn't say I was against sharing my location. I simply said my wife never asked for it. Now, granted, I don't think that a map application should be the counseling source of a person that's dealing with trauma. But if you guys want to seek apps to solve your trauma, go ahead. I think my wife is well. Let's say this: the show. That's what Kristina said. The show has opened up doors that we've never even opened on our own. So I never even knew the story of my wife and how she lost her father. She lost her father at 3 years old. And so it was never even discussed or talked about until this show opened up. And I do want to get at the Carlos that I actually did learn about the background of her history. Because, nobody really, I'm not saying nobody, but I just wasn't the kind of guy that in Detroit, you lose so many people growing up. You don't really ask how, you just kind of, you try to, shift around and just keep living. And I think when I heard her father passed, she doesn't really know too much about it because she was 3. But I mean, what she did know, I found out through the show. And so that did make a difference.
You didn't know about that through the show?
She does have a location now, if you guys are asking. But due to the show and due to that nature of the show and me understanding and the trauma and situation that happened, I mean, I didn't know back then. I was, so I mean, for everybody that wants to make me the bad guy, I am the bad guy, regardless of the fact, because I don't care to share my location. But I understand, if it makes her comfortable at this point in time, I'll do it.
You probably should have led with that, man. They on your ass, Bravo. You probably should have led with that from the beginning, bro. She got the damn location, but here,
I come from nightlife, bro. I am everybody trolls me. I've been getting trolled for 20 years, bro.
Yeah.
I will say, Bravo, the way you was kind of explaining it and you waited to the end, you got a little pimping in your vocab. I mean, if you really need it, we talk about the dating app, not pimping, but away with words. I will say, like
we got the trailer, and Brandon texted me. He's like, "Hey, bro, you gonna post this?" And I was like, "Post what?" He's like, "Check your email." I was like, "Oh yeah, I'm posting this." I feel like dialogue is needed. You know what I mean? Dialogue is needed. Right. Whether y'all agree with me or disagree with me, dialogue is needed. Because if you actually look at Rashad EYL, Rashad said, "Oh no, I'm not sharing my location." There's a lot of women that Jamel Hill. Like you have people that were saying they don't like you. Yeah. It wasn't a absurd amount of people that were saying they do. It was a lot of women that said they understand. Like some women would say they won't even share with their family. So I mean, it gets to that point where I guess
Kristina, does Brandon have your location?
Brandon still has my location, yes. Mm-hmm. But we do it it's for safety reasons for us. I don't have family in Detroit, so I need him to know where I am if something happens, vice versa. So it's just for safety.
Half the time the battle is like, if you are pushing against it, and once you give it to her, they're like, oh, whatever, I don't even care anymore. It's like, I think, but kudos to you. Let's not overlook the fact that you did say you gave it to her. So as much as people had smoke for you for not giving it to her, we should give you your props and your kudos for making her feel at ease. Whatever your reason was, I salute you for doing that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. But understand that my job is a midnight job. If I work midnight at some plants, would your wife be asking you for your location, knowing you're going to Ford at 12 a.m. every single day?
Yes.
I mean,
hell yeah. You know how many people
I'm saying. Bravo. But why? Why? If you're not clocking in and I'm bringing a check on, why do you need my location? No, I'm at the plant down the street.
Because Bravo, what if something happens on your drive home?
Yeah.
What's she gonna do?
Well, that's not the point. We know she would know where to locate you. If there's an emergency, she knows exactly how to pinpoint you.
My OnStar would do way faster and better than she would. But I understand.
I had a friend who drove home from work and he got into a car accident. The police couldn't find him, but his wife was able to find him through his location.
And ICE is grabbing people up. Yeah, someone in the comments, Jane from BK. ICE is grabbing people up. You look like you could be like, El Salvadorian. You know what I'm saying? You look a little Puerto Rican, a little Dominican. Like, I don't know. You could be from Central America. They might snatch you up in a mass ICE raid and be like, we don't believe you are African American, and we're gonna have you. You might be in El Salvador, and she might not know where you are.
And Carlos, this is where it goes, bro. Women will make up any scenario. Now I'm Latino.
Right, like it.
Well, this administration is not discriminating. They rounding up everybody, like, you know what I'm saying, except the whites. I'm just saying.
What I do think is funny is this: the three men on this live, all three of us do agree that I don't think it's important to share your location. When I was with my African for all those years, we never shared our location. And the reason why is because we never even talked about it. He's a Scorpio, so need I say more? And for me, I just didn't feel the need to even ask for it myself or vice versa. So listen, I'm kind of on Bravo's side with this. It is what it is. I agree that you can't allow App LLC to dictate what works in your individual relationship. When you are with somebody, you are with them because you know them, not because Sally from Liberty City has an opinion based on what you should do in your marriage. I think whatever works for you works for you. So listen, there's only two people who have my location, and it's for safety reasons. Like Kristina said, those two people are not my two boos.
Kristina, you hear this bullshit? These men want to do their thing in peace and run the streets, even if they're not cheating native. But leave me alone. I want you to know where I'm at. Meanwhile,
exactly. So you say, what's the problem?
So you say that for every tether out there is, you got to keep tethering each other to last longer as a couple. I'm 20 years in.
You're making it about an
what I'm doing is proven right. I mean, you said what?
I think you're making it about the app. That's why I say you got the pimp lingo. I really think you have a jewel encrusted cup somewhere in your house in Detroit and a 4-finger ring because you are using the words on me. And like, I get it. And I almost got caught up like, yeah, you're right. I'm making it about the app.
Get caught up.
So your grandparents were all wrong. Who didn't even have map apps. Who didn't have locations.
My grandparents didn't have color TVs. They were descendants of slaves. They just got out.
And Grandpa had a family across town. If he would have had,
if she would have had his location, that's right.
Instead of finding out at the funeral,
then you would have had a lot less siblings.
And Bravo. So the audience can know. Please tell them before I let you go. What is your zodiac sign?
I'm a Libra.
What?
I'm a
Two Libras.
You've got to be kidding me.
And I'm the Aries that agrees with y'all. Bravo. Also tell them about your spots in Detroit, man. Where can the people come see you and check your stuff out?
So I got 6 spots. First one's a nightclub, Society Detroit. That's downtown Detroit. One is a restaurant, District 78. The other one is what else I got downtown? The other one is Chandelier Detroit. It's a 3-level lounge. We actually did a premiere there. And then I got another pizza spot called Paco's and Teaser's, and then 2 spots in Southfield, Michigan. One's a lounge called Bloom, just opening up, and then one is called Boulevard Dining. It's a bar and restaurant. So pretty cool spots. Like they're very popular spots in the Metro Detroit area.
Congratulations.
Sorry, the cast of Games Women Play did not get a chance to come by Chandelier, but next time we are definitely going to come through and definitely support your play. So that's kudos to you.
Thank you.
Yes, and Kristina, before we let you go, can you talk to us about what to expect from this Saturday's season finale of Love and Marriage Detroit? Because you have a big moment in this finale. So talk to us about that and what else we can see. Because we in the coming attractions, we see the girls coming for you based on Chelsea, and we need to know what's going to happen, baby.
They're always coming for me. I mean, I'm always being came for. I think that it's funny to me because they want me to hold Chelsea accountable for popping off and, I guess coming at LaToya or responding to LaToya, but they've been all attacking me for the last 2 seasons. So it's like, who came, who protected me, but y'all want me to protect y'all from Chelsea. But I've been getting came for 2 full seasons. So no, they're going to get all of this Chelsea. And I'm not stopping her. So y'all will see that. That comes after. I actually have a performance that I was basically forced to do at Bravo's spot. Roses Are Red. I actually enjoyed doing the performance. I enjoyed doing that. But yeah, I'm dropping my single to that song on Saturday as well. So
congratulations, Kristina.
I'm excited about that.
Yeah. So guys, Love and Marriage Detroit season finale airs this Saturday, 8:00, 7 Central on OWN. And then there's a 2-part reunion. Bravo is at the reunion along with his beautiful wife, Keita. We get into some things. And then Kristina's dropping her single as well this weekend. So make sure you guys refresh your pages, hit the notification button so that you guys are able to download and stream it. I will also have it on my Instagram page too to support. So Kristina, I'm proud of you. Bravo, proud of you guys too. Love and Marriage Detroit every Saturday, 8:00, 7 Central on OWN. Thank you guys for coming on Monday Night Live.
So much for having us.
Much love. Love and Marriage Detroit.
Good luck. All right. That was
not
fun.
You call it Bravo a pimp, Claudia.
Said he had a jewel encrusted cup. I was like, Claudia,
listen, I know game. And he made me, I don't even think he's doing anything, honestly. I think it's like, I don't want you on my location, so I'm going to give you this excuse like, why are we going to let social media apps get in the way of our love? Were your grandparents using locations? Nah, look at them. They have 57 years. And then you'd be like, that makes sense, boo. And then before you know it, you stop asking what you was asking for, and you don't want to demand. I've seen him. Listen, I rock with Libras. Like I'm all around Libras all the time. Libras all around me. Pimp, yes. Learn as you go. Pimp game strong. Again, I really don't even think he's even doing that much. But it's like I want to be left alone. and you're gonna get this Detroit game on why I'm gonna make you feel stupid for even asking me. The point
personally, I feel like points were made. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's how you're supposed to give it up. You know what I'm saying? Like to set the tone and just run shit. But shout out to Bravo. And I actually have to host a media conference in Detroit in early June, and I'm going to Bravo spots. I'm partying in Detroit when I'm home.
Nice.
So
oh, do that. It's a good spot. No, I've been to my family be calling me like, can you DM Bravo? We were like, I'm like, really? So no, it's a great spot. He is a great host. He's a great guy. So if you're from Detroit, go to all of the 6 locations.
That's amazing.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, I'm gonna cut you off.
No. I was gonna say he has 6 locations. Yeah, go ahead, Claudia.
A young Black man having that many spots. I love seeing successful Black people just doing anything. Like I'm with that for sure. So I love that.
Yeah. Okay, so Raindrops. I got Claudia and Dustin, and they're back to discuss episode 8 of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we have so much to get into. It was an explosive episode. It was it's a lot to unpack in this episode. So let's just get right into it. Dustin and Claudia, are y'all ready?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
I don't know if I am, but hey, we are here and we just gonna discuss it. So in this episode, the beautiful Porsha, hey journalist, is celebrating her birthday in Nashville. And listen, I really did enjoy.
Look at Carlos. He is trying to put all kinds of disclaimers at the top for his friends. You know, he's like trying to soften the blow. Like, Carlos, just breathe. It's not gonna hurt that much.
First, I've heard that before. No, the thing is this. I just want to make sure to chronologically get into the episode, okay? So I really enjoyed when the ladies were, having fun and they were at the bar. It reminded me of that Tyra Banks movie, Coyote Ugly, how they were all in the bar dancing. Like, wasn't that fun, Claudia and Dustin?
I've been to Coyote Ugly before. It's a good time.
It was cute. Go ahead, Carlos, let's get to it.
Okay, so then that happened, and then I was like, "Oh my god, I really enjoyed like the fun and the taking shots." They were taking shots with the shot bottles. Claudia, could you do that too if you were?
Well, I have a small mouth. I don't have as large of a mouth, so I can do a smaller cup. I don't do big cups like that. But they were getting it in. I'm mad at them though. Like they were having fun. They was wrapping their whole mouth. Like I would get the top, they got the base. Like they was they was having fun. They was throwing it back. I said, okay, girl. I'm mad at that. They had fun there. That was cute.
Yes. I agree with Claudia.
This is so funny, right?
I agree with Claudia. No, they was having fun though. Honestly, what do we want from Housewives, right? That's what we want. We want to see them having a good time, letting their hair down. It was technically a girl's trip, right? So that's what you do when you're on a guy's trip, a girl's trip, their trip, whatever your trip is. You have a good time and you let loose with your friends. So I was actually happy to see that. Let's start with the positives, right? Like they did look beautiful. Porsha, Kelly, and Shamia, all the cast, it's a beautiful cast, period, right? So they all look good. And to me, the star of this episode was Cynthia Bailey. Cynthia is the best friend that we've seen on that show since the show has come around. She is literally being a friend to these ladies in her capacity on the show. She walked in that room with Porsha, completely reset her energy. We saw her be so empathy toward Britt, who she don't even know like that, and was just able to find that space to kind of bolster her up in that moment. So Cynthia, she did her thing. That's how you be a friend of the show, and that's why she's back. So I thought that was great.
I will agree with the fact that Cynthia's presence in this episode alone, and yes, throughout the season, but let's focus on this episode alone.
Yeah.
It was a very smart decision to bring Cynthia back. And the reason why I'm saying that is this. I do feel like Cynthia has not been given the flowers she deserves for her time on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Because a lot of things, and this is no shade to nobody, We're all guilty of this, right? A lot of conversation happens when it's like who can read the best or throw the best shade and all that stuff. What I think is missing, and I said this in my interview with Cynthia and Crystal Minkoff from Beverly Hills Housewives. When I'm casting a show, the way a perfect ensemble cast works is not everybody can be on 10. You need somebody that operates on middle ground. You need somebody who's able to what Dustin said, be a friend to everybody. I don't subscribe to this notion because I get read for this myself because I love all the girls. But I don't subscribe to this notion of a friend to everybody is a friend to no one. Listen, y'all could disagree. That's fine. I don't subscribe to that. I think Cynthia has done a great job at fostering her friendships with individual people based on what they give to her.
100% agree.
And in this episode, what it showed me is Cynthia was needed this season because the girls to me are still trying to find their rhythm as a friend group, right? They're trying to find their rhythm, and I'm gonna skip to the end and work my way backwards. I thought it was nice that of all people, Cynthia had that moment with Porsha.
Yes.
You know, I think we all expected it to be Shamia. And for whatever reason it was there, who knows what happened? Maybe Porsha said, I want to talk to Cynthia. Maybe Shamia had, we don't know. But what I will say is to see Cynthia navigate through each girl, finding a way to be sort of like big sister, I thought was a job well done.
Yes, 100% agree. And it gave a lot of levity to some of the crazier moments in the episode, and you need that. So I really thought she shined as a friend of the show this week. And I don't think I ever remember a friend of the show operated, by namesake of being a friend. Normally they're in conflict or they're a friend of by title, right? Just because they're not a full housewife. She was literally functioning as the definition of a friend. That was good to see for me. You know what I'm saying? It added levity to the butt cheeks that we saw in the other scenes of the show. So it was like a balance between something more wild and something that was more settling. And I appreciated that. So
Cynthia, again, I've told you guys before that since season 7, since I was there, I've only watched like the show maybe 1 or 2 times until the season. Now I'm watching it. I'm locked in now. I'm watching every single episode. So I'm like in a time machine, right? I'm like stuck back, like, wow, seeing how far, like the moment with Porsha and Cynthia, because last time her and I talked about the show was when they fought on a boat. So they've come, my point is saying that they've come a long way. And I was actually surprised at how close they are now. And whether it's real for the show, I think it is. I think it was a genuine moment. But I do like the fact that Cynthia gave her real advice, gave Porsha real advice. And I have to give Porsha credit in that particular scene, just that scene right now we're talking about, that she received it. Because once upon a time, you couldn't tell Porsha nothing. And I love that she received it. And they were holding hands. They were sitting on her bed, on Porsha's bed. And, we do need these moments to balance out the chaos. Because it's not going to be kumbaya all the time. Nor should it be fighting all the time, like level 10 reading. If it's reading all the time, then a real read doesn't really stand out anymore. It's like yawn by, they do this all the time. But when we take us through the journey. In real life, you wouldn't always be on level 10. You would be on a 5, you'd be on a 2, you'd be on a 10, And I really did appreciate that moment because it showed these people who were fighting in season 7 and season 8, and I think 9, I can't remember from what I heard, they've come a long way. Yeah. And it does give me hope for other people that are maybe arch enemies now, that maybe later on, they too can have a scene where they're like in a loving space or cool or whatever. Some people want to call it flip-flop. Some people want to call it growth and evolution and growing and getting past things. So I did like that. I like that moment a lot. I really did.
Yeah, I did too. I want to talk about a moment that was very controversial for the audience. One of many in this episode, but let's start with the first one since we are on Cynthia. So Cynthia, Britt, Drew, and Angela, they decided to go to like this winery or like this sort of like
whiskey tasting.
Thank you, Dustin. Whiskey tasting. And in that moment, Britt pretty much talked about how she felt that she didn't feel supported by the girls when Kenya displayed the explicit photos. She felt that some of the girls were more concerned about what she did to deserve that reaction versus the outcome of the reaction. And in that scene, Cynthia, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but Cynthia did say that, you know, regardless of what happened, this girl deserves our support based on the fact that she did have an explicit photo on display. I'll say this, and I want to hear from you guys. Look, I know a lot of people thought, well, Cynthia, that's why Kenya's mad at you. And listen, we don't know if Kenya's mad at Cynthia because Kenya has elected not to talk about Cynthia, which, and this is no shade, I give Kenya so much props for that.
Yes.
Because I think Kenya knows whatever she says about Cynthia will be the story. And I appreciated the fact that Kenya said, in this moment, I choose not to talk about my friendship with Cynthia for public fodder. So Kenya deserves a lot of props for that. What I will say is this. Two things can be true. What Kenya and Britt did to each other was wrong. And all three of us agree on that.
Yeah.
I'll speak for myself. What I felt that Cynthia was saying is none of us knows what it's like to have a photo published for the world to see of an intimate moment. And you can't tell someone how they should feel. And that's honestly how I feel. If I don't know what that feels like. And Britt saying that she, you know, stayed at home for 3 days, she cried. If that's her reality and that's how she feels, I do think there should be a certain level of understanding because unless I'm in the minority, I don't know what that feels like. I just don't, right? Just like when it comes to Kenya Moore, I also feel like there should be some understanding because I don't know what it feels like to be removed from a situation that you gave your heart and soul to because of what happened, right? So I feel bad for Kenya, and I will always stand 10 toes down for Kenya Summer Moore. When it comes to Britt's feelings, I do agree with Cynthia that if that's how she feels, and that's something we don't know what it feels like, why can't we all say, regardless of whether or not you deserved it, is a separate conversation. But if that's how you feel, I do agree with Cynthia that they should rally around her.
What do you think, Claudia?
It's really complicated because on one hand, you know, we've said it so many weeks in a row. Yes, we don't agree with what Kenya did, right? And now it's becoming like we have to put ourselves in Britt's shoes and how she feels. And absolutely, I do agree with that. Like that couldn't have been cool. But I don't want us to do too much of an overcorrection where we forget that it didn't start with Kenya.
True.
It's a cause and effect thing. Had Britt never done what she did, what happened, when she was a victim, would have never happened. And I think people are like, you know, the right thing to do is be supportive of Britt at the expense and a little bit of Kenya. And I'm sorry.
Hello, Claudia. I didn't mean to cut you off, but it helped me with that piece because that's the part that I'm missing. How people are overlapping, like empathizing with Britt for that moment. I don't know why people feel like you can't do both. So just help me with that piece.
It's hard. It's hard to do both, but I will tell you this: if one of my homegirls of 10 years was around and I acted a total donkey, regardless if I was right or wrong, in one of my worst moments of my career, right, where I fucked my own shit up, right? Even though I'm wrong, I would want someone to champion on my behalf, which Cynthia did a little bit, and say, yeah, but yes, my friend was wrong, but you should have never did that to my friend. And even though she's not here, I'm not going to kiki with you. And now we're going to be besties now that she's not here, because that's foul too. And I can understand why Kenya would be hurt. Cynthia wants peace. I get that. And I love that about her. But in that wanting peace with Britt, it can appear and feel to Kenya like she's not getting, like she may feel like, damn, well, what about me? Everyone's going to say, what about me for me? Right?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to say that. So I understand why Kenya would be sensitive. And she's like, I don't want to talk about Cynthia right now. And I love that because I think, like Carlos said, anything she says, they're gonna make it into a bigger thing. And I hope that they can, like, after the cameras go away, they can sit down, because I love them being close. I really do. And like, you know, I could see Kenya sitting at home watching this and saying like, and her feeling really hurt, seeing Cynthia and Britt getting close. Like I would feel like, damn.
I don't feel like they're getting close. I think people are kind of jumping the shark with that, right?
We are.
Yeah, like they're not getting close. She literally just said in the scene at the whiskey tasting and said, you know what? At the end of the day, you did have that picture exposed. Yeah. I feel for you in that moment. That's it. She didn't say like Kenya was wrong. She didn't say nothing. She just felt for her in that moment. And so I was having trouble kind of connecting how people felt that was her abandoning some sort of loyalty. You know what I'm saying? But when you paint it that way, when you say my friend of 10 years, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I can see that what you're saying.
Let me ask, have y'all ever made a mistake, right? And you were dead ass wrong. On top of the world telling you were wrong, your friend's gonna say it one-on-one, but it's so much different when it's on television. It's around girls that don't like you, right? So it's like women's relationships are so delicate. They really are, you guys. Like, I would love to know how a male friendship feels, male to male friendships feel, because women's friendships are so delicate. We can see someone and like go, and that's it. The bitch looked me up and down. What's good? And really, I was looking at your shoes. And that's one thing about women that I wish we could do better at. Like, we will look at every little thing as, is that a slight? Were you siding with her and not me? I'm just trying to get people in the mindset of what they may be feeling. But then Cynthia is left kind of holding the bag by herself. Her girl's not there, and she's got to kind of clean it up and kind of, you know, I don't envy Cynthia's position, because she's got to like make, you know, be understanding to Cynthia. I mean, to Britt, which I love that she's doing that. And also kind of ride for her friend a little bit, even though her friend was wrong. That's a difficult place to be. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, you go too far to the one thing. Oh, you're siding with Kenya. You go too side over here. Oh, you're dissing Kenya because you're over there being too kiki with Britt. It's a difficult position. So I love that. I do feel like Cynthia is coming from a pure place, but people may not read it that way. But I do think she's coming from, I think she has all the intentions.
Yeah.
Yes.
I do. I don't know. I know I kind of went around. I know I talked a lot about that.
No. Listen, it's real. It's real because listen, let's have a real conversation. A lot of times when reality stars are on television, a lot of their conversations are them thinking, how is this going to appear to the world or to the people watching? Let's be real. I'm gonna be more real. Okay. I sometimes have to make sure I don't make a face or laugh when something's funny, because I have tons of friends in this business. And I sometimes feel like, well, shit, I can't even laugh at a funny joke because I don't want that person to feel like, well, damn, Carlos, is it that funny? Yeah. But I'm like, well, shit, I got a funny bone. Yeah. Am I wrong for having a funny bone? Am I wrong for somebody cracking a joke? So I agree with you, Claudia. I do think Cynthia is in a rock and a hard place because when you sometimes have friendships in this business and people are watching, I know for a fact that a lot of housewives watch Monday Night Live. Let's have a real conversation.
Hey, housewives.
And I love y'all, all of y'all. And I do sometimes feel like it is awkward if somebody cracks a joke and I laugh at it. Is that person going to be mad at me?
Yeah.
So I agree with you, Claudia. I think it's very interesting. It's a very interesting dynamic. That's why, in my opinion, I don't think what Cynthia did was wrong at all. I don't think what she did was wrong because Cynthia was in the moment operating as Cynthia Denise Bailey. And I think the audience needs to accept the fact that you want somebody to play real in the moment and not play real so y'all don't fucking read them on social media.
Right. And I think people are feeling away because she has the history with Kenya and she just met Britt. So people are looking at it like it shouldn't be 50-50. It should be more, you know, but more loyalty, more to your friend. I think that's why people are like kind of like coming for Cynthia a little bit. And like I said, I don't envy the position that Cynthia's in, because no matter what you try, like you're like, hey, I understand Britt's feelings. I was in the moment. No one deserves that. Then it's like my friend was wrong and she's not here anymore, and I got to get along with these girls. I have to film with these girls for the next few months.
Yeah.
But then I do take offense. I didn't like what my friend did. That is not an easy, and I just want people to know that is not an easy position for anyone to be on, no matter what y'all say at home on the couches. Not like it would never be perfect enough for everyone. It really would.
Yeah.
Also, if I'm not, as long as I'm remembering this correctly, the person that Cynthia said she didn't agree with what Kenya did to was Kenya herself, right? I don't remember seeing Cynthia, excuse me, have a conversation saying Kenya was wrong to the other ladies, unless I'm forgetting. Am I? I remember her saying that to Kenya on the spot. So like that's why I don't understand how people are acting as if she has trashed Kenya on the show, trashed her or anything. She didn't. You know what I'm saying? She said something to Kenya, and I think people just want her to be more. I don't know what they want, so I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I just know per what I saw on the screen, I agree with you and Carlos. I do think Cynthia was in a peculiar position. And I think she did the best with what she had to work with. So,
and also this stuff happened months ago, right? So they could be very much past things, right? And then here comes social media and Twitter, and then you're trending, oh, you're not loyal, you're not this. And then they retweet, they find old tweets from Nene and repost that. And, oh, she liked this comment, she must be feeling away. And they reignite it. I remember when on Housewives, me and Porsha had worked through some stuff that we had. And then we went to the Philippines and all this stuff happened. But it's like you're cool. And then a confessional plays of something that's months old. And then you're back to square one. And it's really hard. It really affects your real friendships. It really does. It's very hard to give the perfect answer because there is none.
There is the one. There is the one. And since we're on the topic of Britt, I would like to say this. I am going to need to see more from Britt.
Me too.
I am. Let's have a real conversation. All of us. I think you too, Claudia. Episode 1, we were all like, we like all the girls.
We liked her.
We all like Britt. And I want to be very clear when I say this. It's interesting to me, and we'll get to Angela Oakley in a second because I really want to talk about Angela Oakley. I think Britt started off strong, and I'm just being honest. Britt is going to have to give me more than what she's giving because she's losing me. It's giving lost. It's giving milk carton teas. It's giving missing Lifetime specials. It's giving Angela Bassett 911. It's giving let's put out an APB. Where are you? Where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? I don't know where you are. I'm lost at sea. You know, I'm not. Britt isn't giving anything that makes me want to root for her. This is outside of the Kenya thing because we already talked about that. So let's be very clear. Prior to the Kenya incident at the hair salon, I felt that Britt started high and was sliding down a downward slope, and I need more. I'm not feeling anything from her. I don't feel anything from her. I don't feel any personal story from her. I don't know what's happening in your marriage. Seeing you shop for the expensive car and not buy like Kim Zolciak did. Episode 1, season 1, where she said, you know, hey, Big Papa, I want the Escalade. And Kim Zolciak, honey, got that checkbook out from Wells Fargo and zeroed out at the dealership. She zeroed out for $65,000. I was there and witnessed it with my own eyeballs.
Not a test drive with no credit application. Like what we doing?
Here's the problem.
That on my TV screen. You know,
we did not see that. I agree with you 100%. And the problem is the situation with Kenya and Britt popped off before the viewers got a chance to really get to know Britt at all, right? So it feels like we jumped right into the Kenya stuff. It got really, really deep fast. Kenya was removed from the show, and now Britt is still talking about the incident with Kenya and clinging on to her experience with that and measuring the other ladies, I guess, just judging the other ladies based off of their opinions with that situation. To me, Britt made a critical mistake right there because once Kenya was removed from the show, Britt literally had the clean slate she asked for. She could have approach the show from a place of wanting to connect with these ladies. Like now that we have this situation settled according to the production of this show, let me now shift my focus to like getting to know these ladies and building these relationships. And that simply didn't happen. That's what Angela was talking about when she said, but Britt, your energy when you came to that peace brunch that we threw to kind of build that bridge, you know, and Kenya's absence. And now that we have to get to know each other differently, let's do it. Britt didn't necessarily walk into that situation with a spirit of, you know, camaraderie or getting to know, building a relationship with these ladies. And I think that's the difference, right? Britt could have easily moved on from that situation as far as pertaining to the relationships on the cast. She could have still processed her very real emotions and feelings connected to that experience, right? But she could have then pivoted on as far as her presence on the show and built relationships with these ladies, had fun moments where you're not discussing your feelings about the Kenya shit, and created real relationships and kind of existed beyond the breakdown of the Kenya situation. But unfortunately, she is attaching herself to the victimhood of that position, what happened to her, and expecting the other ladies to handle her with kid gloves because of that. And I just don't see that panning out well for her for the rest of the season.
Very deep and great take as always. And my answer to that is she doesn't have the emotional intelligence to do any of those things you said. She doesn't. She's a one-trick pony. She has no depth to her. And wait, if she does, she refuses to show us. So even if there were some of us that wanted to take a second look at her, there's nothing there. You're angry every single episode. You're easily triggered. You want to call other people victims, but you're the queen of all victimhood. And everything is because everything that went bad for you in your life is because you're so beautiful and everyone's jealous of you. I don't see it that way. I don't see that. There's plenty of beautiful women that have lots of girlfriends in their lives. If you don't believe me, take a look at my Instagram page and see all the beautiful friends that I hang with. Every one of those girls are girls. You're not a girl's girl. The only time you bond with other women, Britt, is when they're being mean. Like you at that table when they were like kind of everyone was coming for Angela, you jumped in, you was all into it, and the way your eyes lit up, that's all you have. Your depth is a botched BBL, botched 2 big veneers, a botched nose job, and a botched personality, a lack of. And y'all could be mad at me in the comments. Do not take it out on Dustin and Carlos because they did not say it. I said it.
I ain't reading that shit no way. So you know me. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
Claudia.
You know, and they're like, oh, you hate her. I don't hate her, but she's very obnoxious to me. And she got an opportunity of a lifetime, right? And did not take the opportunity seriously. Like even with all her flaws, which we all have flaws, we could have loved her through them had she had chosen a different approach. And we would be like, leave her alone. That booty job ain't that bad. It's kind of cute. You know, the ant look is coming back. I don't know. Or big teeth are cute. I don't know. Whatever. Or I don't know. Nasally sounds, they're sexy. But because
I did say that was her quirk. Remember the nasally.
But because you're doing all this other fuck shit, it's everything else about you that's annoying is like it's gonna be it's force multiply. Okay, you are dropping the ball. Show us your relationship with your husband. Talk about rumors that y'all have out there. Let us fall in love with you because we can relate to who can't relate to the high school or the young 20-something-year-old person that made a huge mistake and has learned from it. But you just get nasty. Your first instinct is to be mean, bitchy, and want to fight and talk about you got a gun and bitch this and come for people. You've been talking shit about people from the beginning. Like it was too soon for that. And I agree. Smart, you could have played this Kenya thing right. If you really want to be a victim, you could have like talked about how bad it hurt you. It brought up bad memories, and I want to deal with these things head on. But you want to be that bitch, and I'm gonna read a bitch down. You're like surface level housewife. This is season what, 16?
Yeah, 16. Yeah,
the show is so far evolved past that, and you are missing the boat. And you will not be asked back next year. You will not. I'm a betting woman, and I'm putting money on that. And the way I look at it is with Kenya's flaws, we lost Kenya for this. We lost Kenya for this. You don't even give good reads. You're one note, mean. And you could be mean because there's a lot of housewives that are mean, but they also have some balance with sometimes having some sense. And you say, I get why she's like that. Her mom did this. Her man did that. She has abandonment issues. But there's nothing redeeming that we can cheer for with you, Britt. And I'm sick of it, actually. I am.
Oh, well, that's I don't think any of us are questioning that.
And so I liked her from the beginning, but I just she did herself.
Yes, I think. Listen, this is the mistake that a lot of new reality stars make, and I'm just gonna call it out. Listen, it's okay to join a very popular, successful show that can catapult your career. Shit, do it. I'm here for it. You know, the mistake that new reality stars make is you try to be the moment instead of letting the moment be you. Instead of letting the moment be you. And I'm going to give you a good example of this. Britt started, I said in my first recap, I said Kelly and Britt are, at terms of newbies, I'm like, they neck and neck to me, right? I never once mentioned Angela Oakley's name for the first 3-4 episodes. I was like, oh, she's there. Cute. Ain't mad at it. But whatever, right?
Whatever.
Angela Oakley is the quintessential housewife and reality star. If there was a trophy, Angela Oakley deserves Rookie of the Year. And I'm going to tell you why. Angela Oakley came in as herself. She didn't come in strong. She didn't come in being messy. She gradually grew, and by no design besides being herself. And when I cast reality stars for my own shows, they always ask me first season, what do I do? Ask any of them. I say, be yourself. That's it. I'm like, you don't understand. Being yourself is the most important thing to do because the audience is going to clock you when you're trying to do the most. Yep. Angela Oakley is giving us old school housewives, and this is coming from a producer who started season 1, episode 1. Okay, and I'm gonna drop dime on this motherfucker too.
Ooh,
we wanted Angela Oakley since season 3, and they turned us down. We asked again 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and that's all I remember because I left the show after season 9. But while I was on the show, Angela Oakley name constantly came up. Charles Oakley is an NBA legend. He's not a fake boyfriend. He's not a fake husband. He's not too big to give camera time on the show, support his lady. I'm sick and tired of these new reality stars having rules. Well, that's too real. Excuse me?
Yeah.
I don't want to give you all that. My husband has a real important job. And this ain't one. Angela Oakley is the Rookie of the Year. Angela Oakley has so much potential because she has proven to the world that when you operate as yourself, the world will catch on eventually. I called on to her 2 weeks ago and said, Kelly, I still love you, girl, but sissy poo, no shade, sis, especially after this episode tonight, Kelly, and I love you. Kelly, you are number 2. Angela Oakley's number 1. She is so naturally delicious to watch because I believe everything she's giving, and I want more.
I think she's better than all the old school G's and just as good, if not better than the majority of them. But what she's like, she doesn't react. She's not, she has emotional intelligence. She doesn't jump the gun. She can stand on business. I want to know her sign. She could be one versus the entire cast. I don't care. I'm standing on business. I don't need backup because I believe this to be true. And it is what it is. And I like a woman like that. I'm going to tell y'all, son, I sent her a DM. I was a fan and a half. I said, yo, you are killing it. You are doing your thing. You are perfectly just the way you carry yourself, everything. And she's like, oh, that means a lot. You know, she gave me love. And I was like, listen, I fucked with you. I said, you got to watch the show tonight because we going to give you your flowers. Angela Oakley, any franchise you could get on. Any Beverly Hills, New York, you would rock because you are not swayed by what other people are doing. You don't use anger and violence just because you lack vocabulary, and you wait. You fire back like A good read to me is when someone throws something at you and you remix it and you throw it back at them using their own words. And you
in the moment, right? And she has that ability. She's witty. She's quick-witted. She's quick on her feet. She does measure and control her emotions in a way that makes the show easier to watch for the fans. We don't have to decipher a lot of inaudible yelling and shit. She has a smile on her face while she addresses conflict. It is a fun experience watching Angela Oakley on this show. And no wonder, Carlos, I'm so glad you shared with us that the show had been kind of inquiring about her since season 3. It makes perfect sense to us. I've seen so much commentary where people have the takeaway that she could have lasted with the old girls, or, you know, she could have been on the show. Now we know she was offered at least interest after her being on the show back then. And it makes perfect sense. I love Angela Oakley. She had me at Charles when she was calling his name when she was in that mirror. That's the shit that she called his name the way my mother called my father's name when I was growing up. And it just made me feel like I was at home. I love Angela Oakley. I want so much more from her. And honestly, I can't wait till the reunion, because her and Britt were going back and forth online. They exchanged a few words, and Angela's response was, the reunion is going to be so fun. So we're in for a treat. Angela Oakley got what it takes, and I'm enjoying her. I'm enjoying Kelly. I'm sorry. I think Kelly is cute. I like looking at her. I think she's a good mom. And I think that she is a formidable housewife. She shows up as ready to play the housewives game, and not in a way that some other housewives from other franchises have made us feel, with less than authentic takes at what's going on in their life. I'm really enjoying this new season of Atlanta. I wish Kenya was there, but I'm personally moving past that as far as my viewership. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm paying attention to the stories that we're being presented with, and I'm really, really enjoying everything about this season. So I love me some Angela Oakley. I think she is great for this show. You need a clock. I think she's great. Like she told Shamia, you need a clock. It's everything we want. So I'm enjoying her.
I agree.
She's the star. 1,000%.
I agree. No, she's great. So Angela also invited Drew to Porsha's birthday trip. Drew came in and said, howdy, bitches. Listen, it's funny because Drew has been funny to me these past 2 episodes. First of all, Drew, whoever is your glam squad, keep them. Give them a raise, baby, or a good tip.
She's looking great.
You are looking fantastic, my good sis. Drew looks amazing. So long story short, Drew comes on the trip. Porsha is okay with it. She's like, look, if she wants to come, that's fine. Things went to a head after we saw Porsha have a fun conversation with Dennis, her child's father. And then the next thing we know, Porsha came down in all black, and she was visibly upset. Porsha did say her confessionals that she just learned as she was getting ready to go to the dinner that Dennis was filming with Drew behind her back. And Porsha feels like, you are the father of my child. We are family for life. So the fact that you will go behind my back on my territory, my job, and film with somebody who now is understood to be one of her ops that we're learning, right? She felt that was the ultimate low, and she couldn't get past it. What do you guys think about that? Do you think Dennis filming with Drew behind Porsha's back is bad?
What do you think, Dustin?
Hey, it depends on what him and Porsha had agreed to pertaining to that. Now, him and Drew are in real business together. They did actually produce, you know, and I'm not sure if it's classified as an EP or an album, but they put a body of work together musically and released it for consumption, right? So that means that they had to spend some sort of time together to get that done. And if that is what's going on in Drew's life and she wants to document it, I don't see a problem with that. Where the problem comes in, it is if Dennis and Porsha had already established some sort of rule, I guess, which is what Porsha has been alluding to, that he would only film on the show as an extension of her participation as a cast member. That makes sense to me too. Dennis is Porsha's daughter's father, so he's a part of her story. If he goes into business with someone like Drew or someone else, that's still an extension of Porsha's story to me in my head because he's there because of Porsha. And so I can understand why she might want to contain his scenes where he appears on camera to be a part of what she brings to the show, especially with her being in a position where she already can't necessarily like film, I guess, in the marital home that she shared with Simon Gobadia. There was a handicap as far as what she could do or offer to the show. So I can see her kind of gatekeeping the pieces, you know what I'm saying, that she has to use in her arsenal. And I can understand why that would be off-putting for her. The problem is that Porsha's history and what we know about her makes it hard for a lot of the viewers to give a fuck about her feeling like somebody like stepped into her area when it comes to a man, because that's what people feel like she did with Simon. And so it's difficult for people to be empathetic toward her with that situation.
You know, I try to put myself, like I called Mimi up and I asked her about it, and she was like, yeah, like she would feel a way if a cast member was coming with her baby daddy, and I get it. But what about, so I do understand that, like how that'd be like annoying, but wasn't Drew your friend for years? Like if my girl Chancey was filming with my ex or whatever, or if I had a child, my child, of course I would need her to have a conversation with me or talk to me about it. But isn't there talk online that she did know and she's actually playing it like she doesn't know now?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't seen that. That's what people are saying.
No, that's not. Yeah, I saw that. I just want to say for the record, that is not true. Listen, so in episode 1, the reason why Porsha came in guns blazing is because she learned weeks or /months prior to even filming the first episode that Drew and Dennis were working. It's one thing to know that your baby daddy is working with an artist on your show. Okay, y'all in the studio, that ain't my job. I think it's different when the baby daddy comes on your job site and films with somebody who is considered your op. So I'm on Porsha's side when it comes to that.
Was she her op, or she became the op because she filmed with her baby daddy? She wasn't her op, right?
No, she was her op since, that's what I'm saying. Episode 1, she said you are low down dirty B word, right?
Yeah, to me it's how.
And then what we saw was a few weeks later, Drew and Dennis in the studio.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I'm like,
I think it's the messenger, honestly. It's the messenger. Like, Porsha, you're tripping on your baby daddy. That was about 2-3 niggas ago. Okay. You had a whole cookout where you had your baby daddy, Simon, all one big thing. You had Dennis on the show, then you had Simon on the show. And now it's like, I don't know. I feel like with Porsha, she has double standards with people, which I guess we all do, right? When it's done to us, it's a big deal. Like, no. But when we do it to other people, it's not that big of a deal. You understand where I'm coming from. I just think Porsha and Dennis and Drew probably need to have a scene. Drew needs to reassure Porsha there is nothing going on. Yes, I should have asked for your permission or your blessing before we did this. I could see why that would not be fun, because I'm sure she wouldn't like someone doing that with the man in the basement, Ralph. I do get that. I think like this is another incident of two things being true at the same time. Some people are having a hard time being empathetic to Porsha because they're bringing up her history and what she has done to other women and other wives, multiple. And that's why they're like, but you did this, right? And then others are like, no, I totally understand why she would feel away. But, Porsha is showing her ass in this episode, and not in a good way. Not in a donkey booty stallion sort of way. Like I feel like because she's crashing out, because she doesn't have the big storyline she thought she was going to have in filming in the house. She wanted to be that girl, and she should have been that girl, but that was snatched away from her from Simon Gobadia. Can't film in the house, put all these restrictions on her, didn't have the ending she thought she'd have. So now she instead of leaning into her own interesting story, which, the breakup would be interesting. I think, Dustin, you said this, she has to be a second-rate mean girl. Now you're piling on with other women. You're teaming up with Britt to be mean to other women on the show. And it's making you look like a friend of the show. I said this last week, and I don't care who, whatever. I'll say it again. You are funny, Porsha. Back when we were friends, I remember texting you, like, when you got Dish Nation, you are funny. This is good for you. When we see that about you, we love that Porsha. That is a Porsha that is fun and we want to watch on television. All this moody, mood swinging, not going to talk stuff. That's okay. Do it if you want to, but you are a snooze fest in this. And your biggest moment on this episode was Angela overhearing you talking about fucking her husband. And for someone who already has this reputation, you sure are not doing a good job of digging yourself, of changing the narrative about you. I clocked T back in season 7. People thought I was a hater. It ended up being true. You had the thing with Fallon. You're at this girl's house. Whatever the relationship was, you did take the man. Okay, whatever. He, of course, was a willing participant. If you want to get away from this narrative, you don't use, oh, I was drunk, and then talk about a cast member who is married. I should go fuck her husband. In no world is that cool. I don't care if you like her or you don't. That is not cool, Porsha. And the way you are so angry at Drew for filming scenes, not fucking, not talking about fucking. She ain't even flirting with your baby dad. She's making it very clear he's a light. We're working together. I'm not even worried about him. The way you're so angry about that, and then the way, you know, you want all this grace for, oh, I was just drunk. The math ain't mathing, and I think you're making a fool out of yourself, honestly.
Yeah, there's been a couple moments this season. It's akin to Porsha's takeaway after Shamia, the rest of the ladies and all the viewers were confused with her reaction to Shamia's single Never Had, and her saying, that's Drew, that ain't you, you know what I'm saying? And then afterward, when Porsha offered up some sort of explanation, it was just, well, it wasn't shady. That was just me being Porsha. It's just a moment. It wasn't shady. Well, now she's doing that again with this comment she made about Charles Oakley. Although she was drunk, they were off camera. They was talking shit around the pool. So maybe she felt that, you know, it was a little more private, I guess. It wasn't for the show, but it was for the show because literally they were talking on set at the cast house on this girls trip. And if you pay attention to the footage that that good old Angela provided from her cell phone, you see Porsha immediately exit the conversation once Angela came out. I think a camera may have come down, and Porsha walks right out of the scene and she says, well, I'm not on camera, and she walks off. So I think she was speaking freely amongst her friends. There's conversations that the three of us will have that don't make it to the live. You know what I'm saying? So I respect that part of the game, but it's what she said. It's not the fact that it was a private conversation. It's what she said. Yeah. Talking about she better be careful before I fuck her husband. And you already know they got this reputation, this stigma attached to your name. You already know, especially when it comes to other women that you're on the show with, it's not a good look. And I think she just got caught up. You know what I'm saying? Because now she said it. So they got to work through that on the show. Yeah. We got to see it happen.
You can't be mad about Drew filming with your baby daddy while you made a threat to fuck a cast member's husband. You can't have it both ways. And Porsha, haven't you learned your lesson with hot mics after the whole Bolo situation? Need I remind y'all of that situation where they was on a trip when I remember hearing about there was a mic and catching some stuff that was going on. Like, you know better. You're a veteran in this reality game. You've been in reality television for a long time. And it's too many years for you to just be like, well, I was drunk. No, a drunk mouth. What is it? A drunk mouth
speaks a sober mind. Yeah.
And you've been throwing shade about Charles Oakley a little bit earlier too, so that made it worse.
Oh so, yeah, at the bank when they were at Angela's dinner. That was Angela's dinner where she said that. Where the shit went down with Britt and Kenya, right?
Yes. Now, if Angela would have acted the way Porsha used to act, she would have dragged her and had a physical altercation with her already, but she's not. And she would be within her rights to do something like that. If I'm going to show in some girl that I'm not that cool with talked about she better be kept by her, fuck her husband, I'm going to fuck you up. And that's all that is to it. And they're going to be 2 motherfuckers kicked off the show, not 1, because ain't no way you going to talk about fucking mine and then say, oh, it was a joke. And then you mad about this girl for filming it with her real producer. I'm sorry, Carlos. I know we're making you incredibly uncomfortable right now.
No, it's not. First of all, I'm not uncomfortable. That is y'all opinion, right? Okay, and listen, you guys are talking about what you've seen on the show, and that's our job, to talk about what we see in the show. So look, obviously, it wasn't a great moment. I think we all can say that. I'm honest with my friends. I told Kenya personally, didn't like what you did. I love you anyway. This is what it is. Listen, it wasn't a great moment. I don't think listen, we haven't heard from Porsha how she feels about it. And you know, she does have a YouTube channel, Porsha for Real, the number 4 Real. And make sure y'all subscribe because maybe she'll talk about it. I would like to see how she feels about it based on the realization of what was said. She did say in her interview, she doesn't remember anything, implying Hennessy, which, that was funny, whatever. But listen, it's not the greatest moment, right? And I think even Porsha can say like, yikes on the bikes, right? Mm-hmm. So there's no dispute there. What I will say is this, because you brought up something earlier, Claudia, that I would like to touch on.
Okay.
When it comes to Porsha's position on this show.
Yeah.
Porsha is a fun girl, but going through a divorce is not fun, right? And I think for me, as somebody who has worked with women throughout my career, who's gotten through a divorce on their shows, I have learned how difficult that process is. And you are not in the right mind frame to even film. I'm not making excuses. I'm calling things how they are, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to Porsha this season, a lot of people are wondering when is fun Porsha coming back. And what I do think would help us be mindful of is the fact that she was going through a divorce. Simon was posting almost every day more than the Shade Room, Neighborhood Talk, Jasmine Brand, Bossa, Baller Alert does.
Yes, he was.
He was posting on a consistent, regular basis.
He was terrorizing her.
He was harassing her. He was trying to get a rise out of her. He was trying to distract her, and he was trying to stop her bags. To send a cease and desist on your vehicle, to send a cease and desist on filming in the house, he was doing everything in his power to prevent this woman from being the Porsha that we've grown to love. And what we're not seeing, obviously, is what Porsha does when she goes through a divorce. I was filming with her season 6 when she was going through a divorce with Cordell. It was her first divorce, obviously. She gave everything and more to that show that season. We were there when the boxes were delivered, and she was sad because the frame of their wedding photo was broken. She got a knife and cut the wedding photo album. And then she moved to Duluth, and she didn't tell Nene. And Nene said, "You're a bad friend because you moved to Duluth, child." Porsha does give us a lot when she is going through a divorce. I think what we have to remember is her estranged husband blocked that from happening. And what you're seeing is a woman who is going through something so devastating, not only on the show, but she was going through that shit on social media. Cordell, to his credit, he never once did that to her while she was filming. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to us not seeing the fun Porsha, what I'm saying is there's nothing fun or funny happening to her in real time. And I think it's unfortunate that even she signed on to do the show while married, trying to give us that. And then she was swept under the rug when she discovered some of the alleged issues that Simon was going through. So I understand what people are saying in terms of why we're not seeing the fun Porsha. I would like to offer up it's because she's being prevented from showing us anything fun.
That's fair. That's a fair take. Because facts are facts. If she is handicapped from giving it her all, that's just what that means. We're not going to get a completely, accurate depiction of her personality. She's going through some shit. My thing is just go through the shit then and let us just see that. Take it back to season 6 and let us see as much of it as you can. Film at the end of that driveway. This is my damn house. That bastard said I can't come in here, but this is where I'm supposed to be living and I hate it. Tear the mailbox up. Let's film that. You know what I'm saying? Show us what that looks like, being in the valley of grieving your divorce and having a crazy acting ass ex-husband that is fame and attention hungry, which is why he's trying to stop you from moving forward with the thing that he wanted to be a part of the most. I don't know Simon, but it seems like all he gave a fuck about was being on camera and being a part of the Real Housewives of Atlanta. And now that his divorce with Porsha took that opportunity away from him, I think he's trying to take the opportunity away from her. And that's why you don't marry people you don't know, because they turn on you just like that. they are now mortal enemies, and he's trying to take away her fucking livelihood. That woman has a daughter, whether her daughter's father is in the picture or not. Porsha wants to take care of her kid, and you said you loved her. So to me, it's just fucked up to turn to those sort of tactics, like where you act like you literally don't give a fuck about the person. That's a very nasty, ugly space that to me is derived from a choice that was made to enter a marriage with some motherfucker that you don't know. Porsha has literally said she did not know him. She did not know that these alleged issues were as pressing as they ended up being, and as detrimental to their union as it was. So, well, I don't know. To me, just the way, y'all know I like keeping it player, the way that he went about all of that shit was disgusting to me, and it was my worst. And I don't want to be attached to nobody like that. Right. Nobody that's attached, that's hungry for the attention, willing to play to the comments, try to persuade, or sway public opinion and shit. To me, it is a endless battle that you will never win, and it reflects a lack of maturity to me. And so I don't want to be attached to nobody like that. And people say it's karma. People say Porsha got what she deserved for the way that she entered into that relationship. But what we know for sure is that Simon made it very difficult for her after she chose to end their relationship. And that's the reality of it for me. So I can actually give her some grace for what you just offered up, Carlos, because I do think that would be a lot for a person to go through while you're filming the show.
Yeah, it is a lot to go through, but look at Drew. Drew's going through a divorce too, and she still manages to find some fun, and she's got her man in the cellar, and it's extremely uncomfortable. Okay, she got the man underneath the stairs. Okay, and she still is providing fun. She's giving us some good one-liners. Did you sell the cat? She's still doing it. So it's like, I feel like we baby Porsha a lot. She's been coddled since she's got on the show, like she's a child, and she's not. And sometimes we forget that she's actually a grown-ass woman. She is. And here's my thing. All those things, Dustin, you just said about Simon, so spot on, so true. They were definitely red flags. And guess what? All of this could have been avoided if Porsha would have asked her friend Fallon about her husband. She could have found out how bad he was.
But Claudia, they were friends.
No, Carlos, I'm not.
No, listen. Nope. Me and Claudia and Dustin never talked about this. Let's talk. They were not friends.
They were friends enough for her to see that was listen. I talked to Fallon. Okay, I talked to Fallon. I've hung out with Fallon, and Fallon has told me that.
And listen, I don't know Fallon. Fallon is stunning. Fallon needs to.
Like, why are we acting like she just, because she wasn't besties with Fallon?
Well, but
she didn't know.
No, I know. But,
not,
No. I want us to have a real conversation about this. And listen, let's have a healthy discussion about this.
Hey, I had to say my friend was wrong. Kenya Moore, you fucked up and you messed up your own bag by doing what you did. Okay, Carlos, you got to tell your friend. She, the queen of Thoughtlandia, the self-proclaimed queen of Thoughtlandia. She keeps doing both shit.
The comment. No. I said the comment she made about Charles was not good. I said that. And that's why I said I would like to see what she has to say about it. I don't think she think. I would be shocked if Porsha said, I said it and I don't know. I think she'll say, look, the Henny got to me. I didn't know I said it. I had a drug night. It is what it is. Not my finest moment, right?
Yeah.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, I really want to have a real conversation about this because it's put out there and I would like to know, in my opinion, her and Fallon, did I say it right this time?
Fallon. You said Fallon before. Jesus. Like Fallon.
I know. Fallon. Hey, Fallon, baby. You're beautiful. Her and Fallon were not friends. In terms of from what I could see. I didn't work on that show that season.
Okay.
Her and Shamir are friends. Her and Cynthia are friends. Phaedra and her are friends. The list goes on and on. I understand how the optics could look that way based on the introduction of the show. Right. But we all know on the show, not all, but some, you are introducing somebody right before you put a microphone on and say, hey, you're going to go to so-and-so house and film with them. So I do think, unfortunately, and this is why, no shade, let's have a real conversation. Reality stars, don't co-sign somebody you can't co-sign. Just like Dustin said, don't marry somebody you don't know that well. Don't co-sign somebody on the show, and that we ain't that much of a friends. I like her, she cool. I think it's unfortunate because I do think it's this scarlet letter that Porsha stole her friend's man as if she stole Gerald from Shamia. And I really don't think that's fair to say she stole her friend's man. Now, if you want to say, I think the way you went about it wasn't cool, then let's have a conversation about that. But I think to apply the F word, friend, I think it's not. I don't think that should be applied to this situation.
Again, all I want is an equal set of rules because we pick, not you guys, but society picks and chooses. I remember, and I hate to go back to me and but I have to just go by my experience. Season 7, when we went down to Charlotte and we saw Cordell Stewart, I had no idea he was gonna be at that bar, and y'all was all trying to make this a thing. Can you? Oh, you? And I was like, no, I wasn't fucking with Porsha then. I wasn't. I had nothing for me and her. Used to be cool before the show. I wasn't rocking with her. I could have been a.
And I'm not to cut you off. Not to cut you off. I want to say Claudia is 100% right. She was like, Kenya, this, because the girls thought it was funny. And to Claudia's credit, I'm gonna let her cook. In her defense, Claudia was like, I ain't doing it.
Until this day, people will still say, oh, but you were going out with Porsha's ex. And I go, first of all, we weren't friends at the time. And I still didn't do it, even to like fuck with her on the show. They wanted me to go on a date with them. I did not go on a date with them, even though clock this tea. I've been knowing Cordell since 1999. We didn't stay in touch. Like there was a time he wanted to take me shopping and hang out as friends, and I never did. Before I even knew what a Porsche was, the only Porsche I knew was a 911 in the Panamera that I bought. Well, the two that I bought, one black, one white, supercharged. Anyways, I didn't know her like that. And I had every reason to be a cunt to her on y'all's show. And I didn't feel right about it. You know why? Because we were co-workers. And for me, a girl that does practice girl code, that was enough. So all these excuses, well, Porsha wasn't her friend. Yeah, she may not have been her friend, but she was in her circle. And to me, that is enough of a violation. If you're a girl's girl, you just don't do that. And like, we're playing like, not y'all, but we're playing with like, semantics. Well, they weren't really friends. You could say we were enemies on season 7. I still didn't want to do that to her because that's wrong. And I don't want her to see me gallivanting with a man that she's going through a divorce. That's just not right, y'all. We can't make that right no matter what.
Let's be clear, Porsha agrees with that sentiment because when Porsha soft launched her hard launched her relationship with Simon with that picture from the cookout that you're speaking of, Claudia, where it was her, Simon, and Dennis in the picture. In the caption, I remember Porsha referencing the optics, something about the optics. I know the optics may be a lot for people to. So she's been aware from day one when her and Simon decided to make it known that they were in relationship with each other. Porsha knew damn well what she was going to face coming up with that. She knew what it looked like, and she knew the origin story was not something that would be palatable for most people. And she knew that. So she expected what she was going to get. You know what I'm saying? And she expected the commentary that she was going to get, which to me means she knew what she was doing.
And I think we could get past this. I don't feel
bad for her for that piece personally.
And just like Britt, I think we could get past this if Porsha would like stop playing in our face like we're stupid. Like, and I know people, oh, you hate her. I don't hate her, but there's no accountability. Like, I think what she should have done, right, on all these interviews, sit down with Tamron Hall and say, you know what I did was wrong. And I'd like to take this opportunity to apologize to Fallon because, as a married woman, I wouldn't want someone doing this to me. And now I feel the pain of divorce again for the second time. And I think Black people are very forgiving. If you confront it and say, hey, I fucked up, but if you just carry on with arrogance, like you didn't do anything wrong and just be cute and just like you've never been accountable. So now people are trying to come for her on the show. Angela's asked her, Kelly's asked her, because she's never really had to face it. And I think a lot of people thought her coming back to the show this year was going to be Kenya holding her accountable and we would get that storyline, and we never did. Honestly, Porsha, we're not friends. I don't have to keep saying it. This is not about me and you. But I will say, as an outsider looking in that does commentary and just watches, you have a very fun personality when you choose to not be moody, right? And not be bitchy. You could take this thing head on, sit down with a Carlos King, sit down with someone you trust and own it. Own it. And tell us why. And I guarantee you, we won't be able to keep using it against you if you own it and just put it to bed. That's all. Kenya, own it. And then we put it to bed. Britt, own it. Then we put it to bed. We don't like when people keep playing in our faces, like the Phaedra Parks of the world that just keep on never owning up to anything they've ever done. You got to at some point say, hey, you know what? I lied. And I don't know why I lied, or I lied because of this. And then we can move on, because you're wasting a good personality being in this box. And until you free yourself from that scandal, people will always be able to use that against you, Porsha. And you, I think, are more than that. I think.
You gonna interview Porsha, Carlos? I saw you start smiling when Claudia said that shit. I saw that closed mouth smile. I mean, you in the lab. So what's going on?
Probably gonna drop
Porsha exclusive coming, Carlos. What's up?
Look, I would love the opportunity to interview Porsha. Of course, I would. I would love the opportunity.
Can me and Claudia come?
She don't want me there. You know what's funny? I met her years ago through a guy that she was dealing with that I won't say. And we were all in Miami having a good time. Then some rich Africans came, and then she was all about them over there. And I didn't judge her, nothing like that. She was going through her thing with Cordell, whatever. And I wouldn't. We ain't cool now, so it's whatever. But like, I liked her personality. I thought she was fun. And then we were cool. Like we don't hit each other up and stuff. I congratulate her on Dish Nation. But when I got on Housewives, I remember there was a conversation about coming through Housewives through Porsha or through Kenya. There was like, and I said, they'll hate me if I go through Kenya. But once I filmed a scene with Kenya, it was over with for us. She came to the Ricky's, but we were at the Ricky Smiley show. She was being mean to me in the hallways and not speaking anymore. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Just because I filmed with someone she didn't like. So I know people think that I have this animosity. There is a part of me that feels like, damn, I didn't do nothing to you. All I did was film with someone else that I knew. And I do want you to take heed to the things I'm saying to you, Porsha. It's not coming from a hateful place. It's coming from I see you. I see much more potential than what you're giving right now. And I think you could be like, really, really like a force again, because you have been a force, but like you have to start owning up to some of your bullshit. I believe that. And if you can receive that, fine. If you don't want to receive it, that's fine too. But women to women, I'm just saying, like, I think a couple little adjustments can really free you of forever having that scarlet letter on you, because you shouldn't have to wear it forever. I don't think.
Yep.
Yeah, well, look, we'll see what happens in next week's episode. It did end. Why are you laughing?
I know Carlos is like, shut the fuck up. Oh my God. You are doing too much.
I'm not. It's all good.
I'm taking my brain pill, so I'm shocked today.
No, listen, no, the funny thing is this. I will say this. Not the beauty of us doing this Mondays is that Claudia, Dustin, and I don't talk about anything before we go live. I have no idea what their takes are. We don't even have a production meeting. We don't brainstorm. We know we're coming in to talk about these shows, and we cook. And at the end of the day, listen, I always tell people this. There is beauty in having people speak on the shows that you're on, whether it's scripted or unscripted, because it shows that there's value in what you're doing and there's value in the work. And I strongly believe this. I strongly believe you need to be more worried about when people don't talk about you. When people don't talk about you because they don't care, that's when you should be worried. The fact that we are taking time out on a Monday to give 2 hours of our time to talk about these shows is great, because no shade, there was a time I didn't talk about this show.
Yeah.
Only because it was nothing. I wasn't feeling anything. This season of The Real Housewives of Atlanta is an amazing season. It's an amazing cast. Everybody is clocked in. It's a great show. So listen, we all have 3 different takes. This is sort of like our version of The View, where you have 3 people with 3 different opinions who are able to have a healthy debate and still laugh at each other come tomorrow. So that's the reason why I enjoy doing this every Monday with Claudia and Dustin. This isn't pre-planned. This isn't pre-thought of. We're having fun. We have hot takes. And the gag is this. The moment we hang up from this, we literally don't talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
No.
And that is true. We literally hang up and we move on to other stuff. So
like Carl's Love Life.
Talk about this shit.
Carl's Love Life. Dustin's new apartment house. My cats.
your cats, and this your dream man who I saw a few weeks ago. So anyway,
did you talk to him for me?
I was busy.
Really?
Girl, I was tied up.
You were tied up by who?
So anyway, I knew you were gonna go there.
Was he Dominican?
Anyway, so what I want to say is this: next week's episode of the Real Housewives of Atlanta looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get to see if Porsha remembers what happened, and if and to Claudia and Dustin's point, if she will talk about it. We didn't see in the coming attractions. Maybe they're saving it. But Cynthia Bailey has her infamous Bailey Q, and what we do see is Angela and Britt getting into it. So we'll talk about that next week. Claudia, Dustin, anything you want to address before I let y'all go and enjoy the rest of your evening?
No, I just love working with my friends. So I look forward to Monday night every week. I feel so good. I feel so comfortable on this panel with y'all. You know, both make me feel more than confident to share my opinions, and I'm grateful. So that's it. I'm about to get off of here, get high, have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even, this is something I look forward to, and I'm really grateful for this job. So I just want to say thank you. I love fucking with y'all like this. I love it.
I do too. I mean, I don't know what made you ask me to come on and review Housewives after I haven't watched it in 15 years, but I'm glad you did, Carlos. And like you two are two of my favorite people out there, and it's been fun. And every week that your assistant calls me, because you know Carlos is a very busy man, he's too busy, and asks me to come back, I get so happy. Like, yes, of course. I'm like, they still want me to come back. So, and your fans have been awesome.
Yeah.
We've been getting attention though on blogs, and some guy came out, try to put some allegations on me. He should have gotten the letter from my lawyer today for trying to put some stories on me that I committed some kind of mortgage fraud because I've spoken on Brit. Now they said that I had to falsify some docs, and I was like, sir. But anyways, it's been fun. Now I'm back in the blogs because of you guys, and for some reason when you speak on Housewives shows, it gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, people are real passionate about their fandom of like those shows. It's the same with the Love and Marriage Huntsville shows, right? These are shows that people have grown to love and really attach themselves to, like the personal stories of these cast members. So I get it, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna pop our shit up here. That's just what it is.
Carlos, people heard us and they are asking me, and I'm just the messenger. They're like, Carlos said y'all gonna do something in Miami, or I'm waiting to buy my ticket. When I said, you gotta ask the boss. I don't know. He's he in the street, he busy. He got like how many shows he got right now? He busy.
Listen, God is good, but listen, the beauty of this is, and my raindrops know this, Dustin know this, and Claudia, you know this too. I don't make announcements, I make moves. So keep your notification button on. Make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all follow all of us on social media because, that's when you'll get updates that you need to know.
Yes. And we all got good shit coming up. So make sure y'all follow my brother and my sister too. Make sure y'all follow all of us. We all got shit coming.
I'll be in the Bahamas tomorrow. Any Vincent St. Jacques out there? I'll be in the Bahamas. I was supposed to be today, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Well, Dustin, Claudia, I love you guys, and I'll see y'all next week.
I love y'all too. Peace out, y'all. Bye, Raindrop.
Bye. Another, look at me pat my weave. Shout out to Beyonce. What an episode. All right, Raindrops, I love y'all. I don't have an interview dropping tomorrow. I'm dropping one next week. But make sure you guys watch the Kirk and Rashida interview. Make sure you guys watch my Soulful Sundays, and I will see y'all next Monday. All right. Love y'all. Bye.